Okay, it looks like I'm live. Hi, hopefully people will find me. Probably give a minute. Trying to think. I invited a whole bunch of people. I know a lot of them said they were going. Looks like it does give me a thing to invite, but I can't remember. Mine's blank. So hopefully people will be joining soon. Yeah, they can find the link. Let's see if I do that. Oh, nope, that's not what I want to do. Oh, lordy, okay. No, that's not. Okay, done. Oh, somebody's showing up. Wonderful. Let's see. I don't like... Okay, that's better. Yeah, hello. Hi. Okay, wonderful. Hopefully more will join. Let's see, 5 minutes past the time that I wanted to start. It's definitely retrograde. So, but anyway, kind of a weird situation happened, and finally I just said, please stop. Let it go. We'll talk later. Do you pronounce your first name Johan? Is that right? Or is it Johan? I guess you can't say. I guess you can say yes on the first one or no. Oh, we got 3 people, it looks like, showing up. Hopefully they'll get all the way. Hey, Magdalena. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. And it looks like, unless they're counting me, there's one more person who's trying to get on. And that may be it. I think there was 3 people for sure said they were coming, although you are not listed as one of them, Magdalena, so yeah. Yes, you are. Hi. Hey. Hello, Seeker. Omni-truths. I like that, because that's really kind of what it is. Awesome. Probably going to try to give a few more minutes, because the stragglers coming in, finding their way, figuring it out. Did you guys come into the event link and find it, or did you just go into the page itself, Harmonizing Journey to Realignment Seminar and Sessions, and find it there? I'm kind of curious how you guys found it, because like I said, it's been a while since I've done a Facebook Live group here. Yeah, I don't really remember. I don't even know if I for sure asked before, but yeah. And can you hear me okay? How's the sound? And if I remember right, there is a lag between when you hear me and when you're able to respond and I get the response back. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, you saw me on the page. Okay, good. Good. That sounds good. Okay, great. Yeah, we all got some of that Ayani in us, and more. But yeah, the Ayani kind of grounds us into this earth plane a bit. Or I should say into tarot quite a bit. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Through the page. Okay, good. Yeah. A little bit of lag for you guys. I don't know what it is, but with Facebook, but yes, there's always a lag. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of start doing kind of the introductory type stuff before we do the practice session itself, just so you understand what is SEPA. what is, hey, I see another person joining in. Awesome. What do I mean by SEPA? What is Self-Empowerment Principles of Awareness? What the hell is that? What does that have anything to do with anything, and re-embodying the essence of the law of one, and what all is that about? And so I'll do a little brief intro on that, and then we'll play around with the practice SEPA session. This is the original book that it came out of, and actually I do technically still have this for sale if anybody wants it. It's $11.11, postage included. So it's, hey Jennifer, welcome. There we go. And then when I got the strong guidance to bring in, which is another thing that what the hell's Harmonizing Journey to Realignment session too. So I'll try to get kind of some of that stuff answered, but this is what this book kind of has become for the class. Self-Empowerment Principles of Awareness is, let's see, and I'm just going to go ahead and read the little intro that I have for it, or the introduction, and that'll give a little basic, and then again, whenever you guys have questions, if I'm not clarifying something enough, or you want more information, or you have something to add, that you get it and you really share it, because you guys are all powerful beings. And I know that you guys are all, you're indigos, you've got high coding to be connected, to even think, to even look at my stuff, because my stuff is like way out in left field. So, all right, introduction. The Self-Empowerment Principles of Awareness, or SEPAs, and the essence of the Law of One material were first introduced in the Being in Alignment Self-Empowerment Principles of Awareness Live Huge Now webinar series that kick-started Alignment and Spirit Incorporated, which was the first business I started 2000 and, the hell did I start it? 2013. Yeah, 2013. Focusing on Keylonta science, which is the foundation. Keylonta science is the science of vibrational mechanics, of creation mechanics, manifestation mechanics, base codes of matter or symbol codes. The kind of the first creation, organic creation mechanics. Okay. And I bring in some Abraham-Hicks material. I bring in most of you I think have watched the interview, so I had already said that, but some of you haven't. Seth by Jane Roberts, I didn't have originally when I created the material, but I brought some of it in when I've done some updates with it, because it was so totally in alignment with all of what I'm doing. And really, Keylonta science, actually, Ashiana Dean cut her teeth herself when she was young and learning stuff. The Seth material really was a strong foundation for her to be able to then understand a lot of the information that she brought through with the science of Keylonta. And really, Seth talks about Keylon codes. He calls it, I think, the smallest unit of consciousness. It's the same thing. He said he struggled with Jane because she just could not quite make that leap to the next level. I definitely think she had a speaker contract. She just couldn't. It was not the right time yet. We weren't close enough to the year 2000 when certain things opened up and activated with the Ark of the Covenant and a few other things, and I did not know I was going to talk about any of this. Okay, I will try to get back on topic. I thank my partner Gia Moore, Aquiel, for his support and help again with the creation of the alignment and spirit business, and then eventually in the I call it the essence of the law of one, the heart of the law of one, because to me, a lot of the teachings out there have a lot of distortions and don't really fully embody what it means to really live by the law of one, which is really a science of life, or another way of saying it is a form of Keylonta science. It's really the mechanics of things. Yeah, they were creative. The SEPAs are in the essence of the law of one material. Is a creative endeavor that spans many years of trial and error of feeling what intuitively works and what does not work. The list of SEPAs is by no means inclusive, but I kind of find it's like a roadmap to follow, leading back to the core of who we all are. And I like to use the term God, Source, First, Eternal, Aya, Aye, you, me, we, us, they, it. And I don't say he or she, I say it. Because there's no sex at all. So the power that creates worlds is it all. It's it all. And you are it. We are it. We are I am. Anything else we say after that is persona scripts that we play for the experience of it. Okay. Oh, and I got a couple more people joining in. Good. Or another person joining in. All right. Let's see. The law of one teachings were never to me. This is my perspective. The law of one teachings were never intended to be a spiritual religion, or how to be a better person, or even spiritual being. While these may be benefits of the teachings, it's no matter how far or how many rabbit holes God, Source, First, Eternal, you, me, we, us, they, it, Aya, Aye goes down, that we will always, this is mechanics of the power of the law of the material, the science, no matter how many rabbit holes of experience, density 1 particularly, planets we experience in. So we're multidimensional with many levels, which we'll talk about in the coming weeks. There is a science that brings us back into who we authentically are as source of spirit. Okay? And that's that we'll always be able to integrate the experience back into the core of our perpetually renewing eternal source self, our organic source self. We will always have a way of remembering who we are in case we forget, or intentionally create realities where we forget for the experience of it, which is really a lot of what we did in this particular realm. Because we're eternal beings, we never get it wrong because we never get it done. Our light body structure can fracture and go into space dust, but that's not really who we are. That's more towards the persona we put on of the I am. And again, just still, if there's anything that you want to add or questions, please put them in the chat and I'll, catch them. Many of the ancient myths carried down through antiquity had coded messages to help us trigger our cellular memory to remember. The Mahabharata text and many creation myths were really of us, not some outside deities having control over us. But they did represent symbolic expressions or codes, or Keylon codes, or symbol codes of us. Okay. But the deity idea was spliced in later. But if we read the original ancient text, then we start putting the pieces, of who we are truly as the God Source First Eternal back together again. I say original text because modernized, updated versions come from our current finite perspective and not the original one, it perspective. Okay? God Source First Eternal, you, me, we, us, it, created an interdependent, universal beinghood of co-creative, evolutionary, highly advanced, aware races who understand the interconnectedness between all life everywhere and reality systems. We are these highly awake and aware God Source First Eternal beings who predate any created thing, who had made a commitment to keep the knowledge embodied of first creation. The law of one teachings originated from the science of vibrational mechanics, with Keylonta science being a branch. There's actually many levels to what we call term Keylonta science. Keylonta science itself actually just predominantly deals with the light-body structure, but there's different levels of the spirit realm and so forth that we're actually finally getting into with the Tantra Asia teachings with Iesha Ashiyamadin Arias. All the current law of one teachings have had a, well, no, I'll say it later. Okay. All the current law of one teachings have had a turbulent existence throughout the many millennia, being hidden and then altered and then put back together again. And the Cristale, I think, was the original version of it, and it just eventually became actually the term Keylonta science later on. But anyway. An even worse problem has occurred in the last few hundred years is the way we speak, okay, and see the world as much altered from the original all one eternal life expression. We have taught ourselves to see the world as finite from the experience of it. We have climbed into a very deep rabbit hole, and many of us will fight tooth and nail, right, to stay burrowed in our finite rabbit hole. Because of the current earth plane finite thought programs that affect our world, languages the current quote-unquote law of one doctrines have this finite perspective interlaced throughout them, which continually perpetuates a world culture that is dividing instead of uniting all life everywhere. For those that have read current law of one doctrines and to those that will read those doctrines, all I ask is when you read them, keep in mind the updated perspective identified throughout this book, this doctrine, or again, we'll be talking about bits and pieces of it. Our hope is to enrich our experience as the one, or it, and actually break the finite dead light cycle we all have been living for a very, very long time, and embrace the expansion we have evolved into. It is time to remember our way out of the rabbit hole as each self-sovereign who joyfully feel our own way to clarity in each now moment, deliberately creating our own awake and aware inspired world. So this just kind of, the SEPAs just kind of came out of that energy, as well as just sort of, let's see, this is not a lot, I'm looking at the time. Thinking to go ahead and read what is God Source First Eternal and its counterparts, first and second creation mechanics. Kind of gives a little bit more foundation too. Okay. The first and second creation mechanics, or Keylonta, program coded holograms. Behind both is who and what we really are, which is conscious awareness of all that ever was, is, and will be, that took on the form of energy, which in turn have become codes or keylons, who, as conscious awareness, work together to create mathematically holographic reality programs that we all eventually call manifest reality. There are many schools of thought that have gone deeper in defining this Keylontic science, like Ashiana Arias, Science of Mind Holmes. He's been excellent information. I came across this Andarion theory, Andareon, by Robert D. Giddle and Catherine B. Bostwick. Very interesting book. I'm still plowing through that one, but it has a lot of the same themes and stuff in it, ideas in it. Of course, Seth by Jane Roberts, and of course Abraham-Hicks, which actually Abraham-Hicks kind of cut their teeth on Seth material, and Esther got her built upon it in her own unique way. These are the names that I have come across in my studies, some more recent than others, all letting me know that I am not alone in my view of the world. This conscious awareness of the all created the mechanics of first creation for the joy of expansion. There is no hierarchy because it is all one consciousness, awareness. This goes from the most complicated human to a grain of sand of multidimensional, minute units of consciousness realities. As we evolved, moving into new areas of expansion, we set up parameters, a safety net, thinking we could control how we expanded. First creation mechanics embodied the Chris code, which holds the mathematical program of perpetual renewal of manifest life. And we're going to talk, which is why the first practice SEPA we're going to be working with is breathe harmonically now, because it's creation, it's life, it's renewal is through the breath, and its source itself is continually through the bass pulse rhythms, through the Keylon codes. Always breathing, always breathing. When we're not breathing, when things don't breathe, they become finite and static and eventually implode. So we always want to be breathing, amongst other things. Perpetual renew of manifest life. Another way to say this is all conscious awareness manifested programs holds the ability within itself to sustain life without feeding on anything outside of itself, to sustain its programmed reality constructs, allowing for eternal manifest expression. The Chris code, or partitype, is the program that creates the pre-manifest building blocks of keylons of creation, or the smallest units of consciousness, as Seth says, which is the substance that makes up the elements that eventually create everything we know as manifest, such as photons. We are made up of these keylons, which are fission, electrical expansion, out-breath, positive charge, male, and fusion, magnetic contraction, in-breath, negative charge, female. Generators, or plasma generators, really. Generators pulsing at the 0 point within the core. So it's the Trinity. Okay, that's where the Trinity really first came from. 0 point, cave of creation, neutral spirit, one space, it. Again, that God source first eternal space. Okay, that first created first creation on its out breath. Or another word is LUV, the lowest unified velocity point. This is the mechanics, this is the science behind how we create manifest expression and continually renew it. This is the original Trinity that all other Trinities came from. The universal mind, you, me, we, us, God, source, first eternal, Aya, holds the intention word, the word, to create all possible expressions of being just for the experience of it. From that breath of intention, we breathe it out, and then there is a backflow return of the first experience of this intention as it breathes back in to that 0 point within of the eternal core of our being. From that breath of intention, breathes it out, and then there is a backflow return of the first experience of this intention as it breathes back in. Being the essence of everything, when it breathes back out, then it doubles the energetic encryption experience, continually creating a duplicate intention with quantifying thrust. There is still the original Christic intention in which all other particle fades from, the Chris code, through which the Keylon is created. Keep in mind, at this stage, we are not at the densification stage yet. This is who we are at our purest as non-physical aware consciousness. Our DNA is built on this pre-matter Chris code, which holds the keys to who we are as God Source First Eternal. Each DNA ladder has a base tone magnetic rail, a resonant tone electrical rail, and an overtone neutral rung that puts together, vibrates at different angular rotation of particle spins of manifest expression. Finite, okay, and then we have what I have coined. I haven't heard anybody else say it, so I'm going to say it's mine. Finite second creation mechanics is a byproduct of this attempt at controlling the wave expansion through the contrast of experiencing the full range of life experience, which I had talked earlier about, kind of how we try to kind of keep a structure onto, basically, going down the rabbit holes and bringing yourselves back up, and there was just a lot of mechanics going on to kind of keep us kind of hopefully together, the light body structure together. So, in other words, so from this contrast, we have limited our ability to fully align with the new expanded form we became by setting up a safety net. In other words, finite second creation mechanics is the stagnant resistant energy we experience from not aligning with who we are as God's First Eternal. So it's whenever we go off center and we're not in the core and we go off in the future, quote unquote, the past, we start getting real mental, really less than, not okay. There's a lot generated in that energy, particularly over time. Finite second creation mechanics was built from violating our light body structure of first creation mechanics, safety net of the trinity of the Chris code of light, sound, and one spirit creation. The light electrical was manipulated and modified from the Chris code trinity, which created a dead light Keylon program with its own set of laws. Because it no longer runs by the law of the Chris code, it became a finite dead light structure, no longer able to perpetually renew itself. This created the ultimate form of resistance, causing an intense expansion of growth for it, or conscious awareness, God Source First Eternal, Allah, IA, you, me, we, us, it. In other words, the more we generate, the more we push for something, the more we, because of who we naturally are, we're going to also create action of, this is kind of Abraham-Hicks. We have the resistance of, I see what I don't want, I see what I don't want, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. There's always the opposite, what I want, what I want, what I want. So that want gets really strongly generated. It's huge, it's powerful, because we are powerful manifesting creators. But if we keep going in the not, I don't got it, it's not good, I'm not okay, I hate this, I hate this kind of energy, That also generates. Okay. Okay. Second creation came out of first creation mechanics, evolution of running on the leading edge of expansion. Okay. Always that pushing, that pushing. Resistance to the flow causes conscious awareness to move into new areas of being, which expands the fullness of the whole. In fully understanding as eternal conscious aware eternal beings, there is only the eternal joy of expansion as we all let go of judgment of right or wrong. We live both first and second creation reality constructs every moment. We have the choice of what we want to be now. Because again, the resistance, the flow, the resistance, or actually I should say resistance, flow. Resistance, flow. Okay? Your pillar of peace, your central body current, and your breath. Okay? As a whole, we have been living for a very long time a finite second creation mechanics life of looking outside ourselves to sustain our light body biology. Societies have been built on this need for outside rules and regulations to follow, further defining this inner separation or finite expression. Okay, that's kind of the basic intro. And then I will just kind of name off the SEPAs themselves. So the first one is letting go of bondage now. And I used to originally had it as, Lordy, I'm spacing on what I originally had it on. And I had it. Anyway, it'll come to me. Oh, I gotta remember what it is. And I had it written. I thought it was right here. Maybe I took it out. Anyway, when we have a tendency to bond and is good. Bonding and having a focus and intention of I want to do this, I want to create this, I want to manifest this, I have, you resonate, you generate, you hold, okay, and you expand at the same time. But when you get too stuck in the holding, where it becomes like this, and you're not bonded anymore, you're just in bondage. I want to know the difference, okay? Be in the eternal now. That's your pillar of peace. That's your center. That's the core of your being, of your manifest expression, because we know in Keylontic science we're many spheres within spheres within spheres of the light body structure. And that light body structure is really within the mind, eternal mind of the all that is. Okay. When we get out of that is when we get caught up in the second creation finite mechanics of I should be doing that. I should have been doing that. Why didn't I do that? I've got a problem. This is wrong. You're off your center. Or, oh my God, all these things I've got to do, this, that, and the other. I'm thinking about, you're off your center. The now is in between, right? Past and future, in between the two. Expanding our bodies in the now. Neural network pathways, which we'll discuss more of. Which neural network pathways connect with what we call a cathar grid structure, energy lines and energy centers. It's a network of where the breathing cycles through all the way into our core and then back again, perpetually renewal through the neural network pathways, so to speak, of the eternal mind. And then, of course, I talk about we'll get into in the following next few weeks, feeling versus emoting, the difference with those, choosing mindful action now as opposed to being mindless and again getting caught off into a past and future. Be in your internal, eternal core of your being now. Again, working more in this space. Honoring all levels of your being. We'll get into the density 1, density 2, the different harmonic universes that we integrate with our spheres within spheres. Breathe harmonically now, which we'll do today. Balance now, and it'll be interesting perspective I have on that. Live in perpetual appreciation now. That is hugely important if you're going to embody all of these. Again, they all work together. I'm just breaking them out, but they're all integrated together. Okay? And again, a lot of this is just my personal downloads and experiences and things that I kind of felt like these different things were important to being able to establish a strong foundation of who we are as the all that is, God's first eternal, the mechanics or science behind the law of one, and then we can take on any other science, any other right ways to build upon those. But this to me, as far as my guidance goes, kind of heals some of the distortions that our more modern day stories and religions and spiritual groups have, because they've all had that law of one, true essence of the law of one, dissected out. Okay. All right, trust in life now. We'll talk about being your authentic self now. Be your authentic self now. And live joyfulness now. Okay. Any questions before I go further? As we get into actually practice breathing harmonically now. And we are at 8:11. So, I was thinking about reading the section on breathing harmonically, the SEPA itself. It's a little, I think it was a little long though. Yeah, I think it's a little long. And I'm feeling this reloading. I was gonna mark these. Okay. Oh, here it is. How long are you? I forgot. You're one of the longest ones. Okay. The key. I'll just read a little bit. The key step is to remember to breathe. Okay, no questions yet. Okay. I'm thinking. Okay, no questions yet. The key step is to remember to breathe. Each breath is the internal structure throughout the situation you are depolarizing. Be aware of your breath. Are you holding your breath? Are you breathing full, even slow breaths? Because when we get stressed, what do? Many times we hump over our shoulders, our chest goes in, we start breathing shallowly, right? We're out of our center, we're out of our core. That central pillar is not going to be functioned properly. And that's when we can start getting off balance one way or the other. Sometimes we just kind of totter, going in both directions. So yes. And I thought this was just a cute little saying by Sylvia Plath, from the Bell Jar. I took a deep breath and listened to the old brag of my heart. I am, I am, I am. Okay, I'm going to go, let's see, it's 8:13 now, and I said an hour, and I was thinking I should have known better. I was thinking, we're not going to do a full hour. We're not going to do a full hour. We're just going to do, maybe half an hour to 45 minutes. The practice SEPA sessions are all interconnected with each other as you feel your way through them, gaining awareness into who you are as God's first eternal. So we have that's why I said 5 weeks. Breathe harmonically now, honoring all levels of your being now, living in perpetual appreciation now, feeling versus emoting now, mindful action now. You can do all the practice sessions in one day, or you can pick and choose what feels right for you for that day. Remember, this is a joyful expansion of you getting to know you. So have a lot of fun with these. Practice how they fit into your daily life of sifting and sorting the contrast of life, and then lining up with the new realization of a joyful desired expansion. Whee! Okay, so practice breathing harmonically now. All right, so everybody, just kind of sit for a minute, get comfortable, relax. And probably, whoever wants to tune in, or whenever they watch the replay, if they can't tune in, it's probably good to wear, comfortable, loose-fitting clothes. Make sure you've drinking some water, you're hydrated. Make sure you're not going to get interrupted. Of course, follow your own inspired action as to creating an altar or objects like crystals and so forth you would like to have kind of around you. Okay, now slow your breathing down to take deep belly breath. And this is part of the what I call the harmonizing meditation, which when you do any of these SEPAs, you want to do the harmonizing meditation first. I've incorporated for the class connecting into what is called a pod space, or Mashayahana Salam pod, which we'll kind of talk about a little bit here and there in the weeks to come, so you know a little bit about that. And of course, there's class coming up. You guys have been hearing probably about, so you'll learn little bits and pieces of that. But I want to make sure you guys take something when you tune in. You get something of meaning with you that you can use on your own. And then again, little bits and pieces of what I'm wanting to share as well with my class. Okay. Now, slowing your breathing down, take a deep belly breath into the different areas of your body. So, breathing, you have hands. Kind of just feel like you're breathing into your hands. Feel the breath going into your arms, shoulders, your neck, breathe into your head, breathe into your pineal, turn your eyes towards your third eye, hold your breath, hold, build charge, build charge, build charge, build charge, build charge, and release. Spine, hips and pelvis, legs, knees, ankles, okay. Feel connected to the floor and being aware of where you're sitting or laying down, how your body is supported by where you're sitting or laying. That is supported by the floor. The floor is supported by the earth, going all the way down into the earth, and we're going even deeper. We're going into the Aurora Earth core of New Earth. And we're actually even tapping into something called Uriah Earth. It's beautiful crystal caverns have opened up deep, deeply in the earth. Allowing that first eternal expression of earth to expand and us to expand with it. Breathing into that beautiful cold. And then feeling that energy coming up, 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 up to the bottoms of your feet. Breathing it into the bottoms of your feet. Breathe again into the bottoms of your feet. And then breathe out 6 inches below your feet. Breathe into 6 inches below your feet. Breathe out another 6 inches to make it 12. Kind of feel a popping sensation as you feel this beautiful pale silver rainbowy kind of liquid plasmy crystal hydrolase frequency effervescence flowing up, 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 up your central body current, up through your feet, feeling it going through your body. Feeling it flowing up or out through the top of your head, going up that central pillar, up into the neural network pathways, up into deep space, breathing into deep space, and then feeling that beautiful energy coming back down from the top of your head, down your central body current, breathing it into your heart area. Hold, build charge, build charge, build charge, and when you release, you'll release it into all the cells of your body and around you. For future weeks, I'm going to put a link in. I had some little difficulties today. Couldn't quite get it done. But I'm going to put a link in for my mailing list. And in it, you will get a PDF copy of an introductory session, Harmonizing Journey to Realignment session. So you can practice on your own, playing with the mechanics. And there's an audio version that goes with it. So when we meet back, of those that would like to meet back next week, when we do this session, there's some stuff I kind of add to it to bring. And yeah, I think there might be one person that may have done this, but so I will kind of leave that part out for now, but we'll bring it in next week. Okay. So just take a moment to really feel that energy, that beautiful energy of your being circulating through you. You've connected into your avatar level and actually kind of brought in your rishi a little bit higher with these new energies that are really running now in Aurora Earth Core now. And I will just going to start as you're kind of breathing and feeling, and again breathing this energy into any areas that you might have tension or stress or hurt or any emotions that are kind of stressful. Just breathing into them, and we're kind of actually working with that too, with practice breathing harmonically now. And going to read a quote from I never know how to say it. Thich Nhat Hanh, Stepping into Freedom, Rules of Monastic Practice for Novices. Feelings come and go like clouds in a windy sky. Conscious breathing is my anchor, okay? We can have the storm around us. We work and stay centered in our pillar, and there's lots of things we're working with to really get that embodied, okay, with the work I do. Okay. that breath to anchor. Take a moment now to check how you are breathing. Practice taking slow, full, even, deep breaths into the belly. And you can even put your hand on your belly and feel the belly go up and then go down as you breathe out, making sure you completely release the breath from your belly. And then feel the difference between breathing through your nose and then breathing through your mouth. To the nose. And then breathe through your mouth. And how that difference of how it feels for you. And then kind of a in through the nose, out through the breath, or even try in through the mouth, nose, out, nose, in, nose, out through the mouth. Just play with different breaths and feel out which feels the best for you. Okay. Alternating between breathing in through the nose. Okay, we did that. Then take a few quick, sharp breaths, like feel what that feels like. Feel like what that does to the body. I mean, I know I started to want to go like this a little bit, or even holding your breath. I want to automatically go like that. Okay. The body posture tells you so much of the power of your breath. Okay. Again, do this for a few moments, feeling the awareness and clarity of your breathing, finding what works for you in different situations. Okay. You will, and just kind of, I'm going to keep talking, just kind of practicing the different ways of breathing. And again, kind of feeling out what works the best for you. And kind of feeling out what doesn't work for you. So you have more of an energy signature feel of what that is. To know when you start doing it to catch yourself. And stop. I even many times I'll just tell myself, stop. Sometimes under my breath, but I'll have that stop energy. And I just... And if I'm really stressed, I'm just, all I do is I focus on my breath. Not whatever the situation is, I just, awesome. Okay. Yeah, you will find over time how the breath affects mood and health, and how you can affect both. Really take your time practicing breathing, for your breath is one of your most powerful capabilities. You will have the opportunity to further practice breathing in, of course, the following SEPAs. This is the first kind of one that is the easiest to kind of start on and build the rest onto, because the breath is just so key. We just have a few more minutes left. I'm going to also, oh, that was scary. I don't know why it just disconnected. Okay, but it reconnected, bless itself. I'm going to go ahead and put this link for this book in the chat when this is over with. If you want to, anybody that would like to purchase it, you don't have to purchase this at all, because what I'm doing. Like I say, you can take this information, take this information, and work with it with what we just did today, and what we do. Hopefully, you all will join next week, and again next week will be whatever it was that I said. When I when I connect in energetically, the 3D brain just does not function the way I want it to. Okay. Alrighty. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Honoring all levels of your being now. And that is really going to be fun. That's really going to be fun. I did it with my HJR Seminar class today, because we go through the SEPAs in the class on a much more detailed level, utilizing again what the Harmonizing Journey to Realignment sessions, which is when we connect into what I call the clan family, our multidimensional family. And they just were so excited. they had a really good time with that one. Connecting into Density 1, Harmonic Universe 1, Harmonic Universe 2, our Angelic Realm, Harmonic Universe 3, our Oversoul level, Gaia. It's really very fascinating, that experience of those different levels, and kind of, because we have parts of ourselves, right? Spheres within spheres of beingness in those levels. So to connect with them, especially when I utilize connecting the way I do, particularly with the Harmonizing Journey to Realignment, the HJR Seminar, with the pod space, bringing in the plasmas, you really go to these levels in a really safe way. So again, I really suggest, if you can, to incorporate that in this week. And I'll get the link to you for that. Yeah. So, anybody have anything they want to add or say, or before we end for the evening? It's actually been an hour, but if anybody has anything they want to add, to say, or or anything maybe you want done a little bit differently. I won't be talking as long as obviously I did the introductory stuff today. I won't be doing that next week. I will probably talk a little bit about the HJR sessions themselves, the science or the background behind it. Although I may not. I might do the practice session first, and then see how we're at time, and then kind of add stuff after that. Okay, I'm not seeing anything in the chat. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I hope you guys did too. And again, with what we did today was powerful. I'm very much activating the avatar level, which kind of went into the Rishi a bit, and a little bit higher, is very protective. So even if you decide not to get the PDF free PDF handout, that's cool too. There's a lot to say about that. There's a lot to say about those private sessions, a lot, and I've actually created some videos on it. But the biggest thing I can say is I didn't create the mechanics of it. That is from Arrayas Productions, Ashiana Dean Arrayas, with her work working with the Mashayahana, the Tantri Asia teachings. Thank you, dear. Yes, anybody that needs to go, by all means, we're finished. I'm just kind of answering questions for a little bit. Yeah, it's connecting into a state of consciousness is part of it. I call it Sanctuary Island. We start off in the Grual Point, which is Siesta Key Beach, Florida, in USA. And there's a place energetically one can connect into a particular level, because nothing is rock bottom solid. Everything is energy, conscious aware, Keylon coded energy. Okay, so there are states of consciousness within the earth field itself, and there's kind of like a level of consciousness and there's island consciousness, and there's levels beneath it and above it, and one of them is sanctuary islands, and we connect into there in the beginning of the session, and then we expand. We connect in something called the Mashayahana Prayer Salon. It's kind of a teardrop shaped structure that really kind of embodies a lot of some of the other work that we've done with oh Lord, I'm forgetting on it. But anyway, some of the mechanics that we've used in the light body structure, but this is working with the plasma or spirit body structure. And it just has this very powerful way, and only anyone you invite or energies you invite can come into this space. And it's a very safe haven. It's a very safe space. And it kind of reminds me of Vermanas a little bit, except that it's an organic, alive Vermana as opposed to a stone structure that you see. But I think at one time those Vermanas were probably organic and living, and it was a vehicle that you could travel. You can either travel in the 3D dimensional realm, or you can travel in the eternal mind of creation, and understanding those spheres within spheres and how they're all interconnected together. And so that's kind of big. So when you make that connection with the neural network pathways, you're opening up to your multidimensional levels, which I like to call the clan family. Guardian alliance is kind of another term that I like to use. And it's really bringing that into that field of your being, into the field, that space, and then you kind of going, it's like you going up into it, they're kind of coming in back down. There's kind of just an alignment that occurs, or realigning that occurs. Healings, tremendous healings occur. Things that people had been struggling with and going to other people for and just not really getting it cleared. Many times it can get cleared, but you're doing it, not me. When you connect in, and again, part of it's the utilizing hypnosis or hypnotherapy, kind of relaxing the mind, getting into that kind of theta beta, state. The breathing, just going in, kind of just allows the mind to open, and making that connection just makes it easier. And then you're running it and you're in it. You experience the consciousness of who you are. Again, but people do it in their own unique way. No session is the same. I have my steps that you take to go into it, but bottom line is you have your own blueprint template. So once I go through my spiel and you're in the space, you could be an orb, you could be colors, you could be a bird or a lizard or a dragon or a different something, or you have a presence that you connect with, or you have some past lifetime that you connect into that can then draw it in. I'm pretty flexible. I go with the flow. Some people get into doing doing the light language. They'll sing and bring that part of themselves in, and just wow. And then every once in a while, some of my light language stuff will come out when there's light language coming out. It's kind of interesting, back and forth communicating and the information. Then they'll get stuff that comes through, and I'll get stuff that comes through with them, because it's just this like, whoa, energy coming through. So, yeah, and Keylonic science, again, the foundation, is to me very different from a lot of the other stuff out there, in that it's a very grounding presence. You connect through your root chakra into the core of the earth. and it's called a biofeed interface system with that connection. So what happens to you affects the earth. What happens to the earth affects you. So when you're healing and clearing, you're also affecting the grids that you're connected to, and all the morphogenetic field of the others that are connected into your, what I like to call, lone harmonic reality world that you create. Okay, Seth talks about, well, he doesn't use the word lone harmonic, but he always talks about you create your own world. There's many people's worlds all taking up the same space. Or like, I think you talked one time about in a room, there's 4 people and each of them have their own chair. They saw their own chair. Everybody sees this. Everybody has an agreement of a chair, but they still see the chair differently because it's their own world. They're seeing it through their own filters, or parthe receivers is the term we tend to use. So yeah, you're affecting, with these sessions and working with these energies, your world, your personal self, and the mass reality you connect into. So you can affect your job, all the people around you with work, relationships, mass events can be altered, but you got to really be, and you've got to be mindful of your thoughts, feelings, and actions, working with that. So that's why I brought in the class, because the sessions are huge. They really make a difference for people. But then many times people kind of go back to doing their own stuff, running their own programs, because they cleared some stuff, but they're still running a lot of earth finite programs. So the class is kind of geared to really bringing in the sessions and bringing in your clan family into these sessions. It's particularly as a group, there's a power in the group. And bringing in the SEPAs and practicing them with it. It's kind of an amazing thing with that as well. Did I answer your question? Did I say more than what you wanted me to say? I get a little lengthy sometimes. So yeah. Is that what you were wanting to hear, or were you wanting to kind of know more what you get for the sessions? I'll also put a link in for that, so you can also kind of read up more on it and find out what comes in the package. Okay, thank you so much, and namaste. I guess if that's it. Okay, love you. Take care. Again, I'm just going to wait a moment in case there's any other questions, anything else anybody wanted to share. We're a little bit over. I'm going to work harder to keep it under an hour next week. I'm sorry. You're very welcome, Seeker. Thank you for joining. All right. Namaste. Ashalamka Akashadur. Ashalamka Akashadur. Te'eja Intadore. Te'eja Intadore. Te'eja Intadore. Hopefully, I'll see you guys next week. I'll have the recording. This is recorded, so if anybody else that you think might be interested in this, you can kind of send them my way, and they can watch this week's recording, so they can get caught up and they can join in for next week. Again, there's 5 of them, so we'll do 5 weeks, and I'm hoping Tuesdays will work for people. Wednesdays tends to be a little rough for me. I got something else that I do, and Thursdays there's something I really like to do in town, so I'm hoping Tuesdays will work for people for these next few weeks. All right. I will officially say bye. And I will see if I can close the chat. Okay. Oh, you stayed, sweetie. Okay, good. All right, I will. Okay, I did wrote and they didn't like that. Okay, finish.